Hi everyone, creating your own designs in Canva. In this video, we'll be looking at designing and editing your own teaching resources. Let's go! So, I want to make a presentation about a topic for the gaming unit I deliver. And there's a couple of ways I can make a presentation. I'm currently on the Home tab on the Canva homepage. I could just simply click on Presentation there, but over on the navigational panel on the left-hand side is also this Create button. Now it basically brings up the same list, but you can see there are a couple of extra things for you to click on. But in this case, I'm just going to click on presentations and I'm going to make a blank presentation. So it opens up in a new tab, and over on the top left hand side, it basically asks me to give it a prompt to kind of make a presentation for me. And that's the AI side of Canva, which we'll be looking at in a later video. Right then, so like I mentioned earlier, I want to make a presentation about gaming, and there's a topic in particular called emerging technologies I want to build one for. So I'm going to take this opportunity to build a presentation for myself and kind of show you what the bits and pieces are on the navigational panel. Now, straight away, one of the things which kind of annoys me a little bit is the presentation or the slides, you can't actually see in full because this is in the way. But if you click on one of these, doesn't matter which one you click on because these are all the different options we will be looking at, it then pins it over on the right hand side, and it also pins this as well on the left hand side so you can kind of see one clearer than the other. First thing I need to do is to give the presentation a proper name. So at the moment it's untitled design. So let's type in emerging technologies. I'm not really going to type in and speaking at the same time. And I could have done the same by going to file and changing it there. So it might be worth you coming to look at file and having a look at these different options just to familiarize yourself with them and having a look across the top there to see what they do as well. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I kind of set up a presentation, I always think about the background. I think, right, that's the important thing. I've got to get that right. So if I click on the slide or the page, and then you'll have this option at the top for magic backgrounds, and you also have background color. So we've got our color palette, the ones which are associated with customise, or I could actually come and pick something from the list below. Now, just to show you what magic background does, if I actually type in something, and this is a bit of AI built into Canva, so if I do something like computer game pixel art, and I just want to see what happens really. So I'm going to generate that. Might take a few seconds, so I'll pause the video and come back to this when we've got something generated. Right, so it hasn't quite generated what I was expecting, and that's all to do what I've typed in here. So I need to kind of streamline what I'm typing in. But if I did want to keep one of these, so for example that one, I just click on it and carry on. If you didn't want it, just click on it and press delete and it goes away. Now, next big important thing, now I've got my background sorted, I want to be getting my title in there first, so my emerging technologies title. So I could add a text box and I could zoom in on that so I could see it a bit clearer if I wanted to. I could change what's actually written in there, what the style is, what size it is, etc, etc. But what I am actually going to show you at this point, a little bit further down, there are these different types of titles you could potentially use. So I'm going to use the neon sign and I'm going to change this so it is my title, emerging technologies. I think I spelled that right. And if I need to resize it, then if I just click away from the box, click back on it, and I can resize the entire thing so it fits in nicely like that. So right then, now I've got my title sorted, I want to start looking at adding some images, some like elements to the presentation. So on elements, I've got all these different options available to me. There's loads of them. So I can do shapes, I can do graphics, which are like clip arts, vector graphics, realistic photos, 3D, videos, audio, so our sound effects basically, etc, etc. So I can click on these individually and go scouring through them. And in particular, I want to get a 3D image actually on here. And I'm going to look for a virtual reality, and you'll see that this starts to come up then. So virtual reality headsets. Let's see what comes up when I press search for that. And I've got these 3D options which appeared. Now the reason why I want to show you 3D is because yes, they do look 3D as you look to them, and you can resize them like you would expect with any image. But what's really nice about the 3D element is you can actually move it around to actually get it to look the way you want it to look. And in fact, that's perfect as it is there. One other thing to point out, we've got a one slide presentation at this stage. So you might have noticed underneath, there is the plus sign to add a page. And what's nice is it does bring across the colors, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, you just simply click on the background color there, like we did on the first slide, to actually get those colors the way we want them to be. And one last thing to add to this, yes, this is a presentation. However, if I was going to use posters, something for the whiteboard, any of these things which are listed here, it basically gives you the same tools over in the navigational panel. So your apps, your text, your elements, etc., etc. The truth is, if we went through everything you can do on Canva, then this video would be longer than an episode of EastEnders. Not that I watch it, obviously. So the best way to find out how to do things is just to explore. But to help you on your Canva adventure, we've put together an Element Library Top Tips activity to introduce you to other design tools, which haven't been covered on this video. So if you scroll down, press View Template, and then open an editor, it will open up a 9-slide presentation. The first slide is just a hello and welcome, but then on the other slides or the other pages, there are tasks for you to carry out. So for example, select the graphic element on the right. If I click on that, choose a color swatch from the toolbar above. So if I click on the different colors here, it will then actually show you some things which I've not been able to show you on this video. And the same for these other pages / slides as well. Now then, back on our presentation, just a couple more things I want to show you. Over on our navigation panel on the left hand side, we have an option for uploads, which we're going to talk about in our next video, but we've also got an option for brand. So currently, my presentation doesn't follow the color scheme, and it doesn't have any of the bits and pieces which are associated with our college. If you did want to be using icons and graphics and logos and colors and so on, then they're here for you to use. So for example, if I click on the color palette, it will change my presentation to fit into it, so I can kind of mess around, and now actually that looks much better with the green than it did previously. And the last thing I want to point out, once you've finished your presentation and you close it down, you might be thinking, well, where is it? Because I can't see it anywhere. So if you click on the home button on the left hand side, you'll see in the recents underneath all these icons, there's our emerging technologies presentation there. And you can also find it if you click on open menu at the top. Now, the one thing I want to do, I did set up a folder for things to be saved into in one of the previous videos. So I'm actually going to move it into my game development unit, and I'm going to move it into there. And hopefully now when I go to projects and I scroll down, I should be able to see my game development unit, which has one item in there, and there's our presentation. And if I click on it, again, it'll open up in a new tab and take us back to where we were. So that concludes templates and designs. If you haven't done so already, make sure you take a look at the Elements Library Top Tips activity I mentioned earlier. In the next video, we'll be looking into how to upload and edit PowerPoint and Word files you might have already made. Right then, I'm off to watch some TV.